Hey, what's up, fam? A lot of you guys have been hitting me up about the ugly Christmas sweater. Like, that's absolutely fire. Where can I get mine? Hey, guys, as always, grindgear.com. And do me a huge favor. Just like I posted, Jamal posts, when you get your sweater, when you take your family Christmas portrait in the sweater, make sure you post it so we can share. It's your boy E.T., man. Happy holidays.
You know, I stole it from this guy. You always have to stay ready, right? If you're just going to get ready, right? Well, I'm going to get there. I'm going to save up for this vacation. Then all of a sudden the vacation hits. It's like I'm going to get my body ready for vacation. I'm going to save my money for the vacation. Well, then the vacation hits. What do you do after that? Go back to eating junk food? Go back and wasting money? So you stay ready. Right? You're staying ready. Look, it's just law of large numbers. Something is going to happen in your life, right? And if you have kids, right, you can't anticipate. They're all of a sudden, they're just going to call. Hey, Dad, I need this, or Mom, I need that, right? Maybe it's a family member. Something will always happen, right? And so you just have to always stay ready for those things to happen. You know, plan for the unexpected. It's going to happen. You just don't know what it is, but be prepared for it to happen.
This episode of the Secrets to Success podcast is brought to you by none other than Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, the green juice, can supercharge your life, restore that glow, and help you feel decades younger in just 30 seconds per day, without you having to worry about shopping for ingredients, mixing and blending them, and then that cleanup afterwards. You don't have to do any of that. All ingredients are USDA organic, vegan-friendly, and made without GMO ingredients, gluten, or soy. Where else can you get superfoods like chlorella, moringa, spirulina, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, turmeric, just to name a few? And because you listen to the Secrets to Success podcast, you get to save 20% on your entire order. So go right now to www.organifi.com/success. That's ORGANIFI/success. And get you and your family something that really makes a difference in your health.
You ready? All right.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What's going on, y'all? What it do?
Man, I got Dr. Douglas in the building. Douglas is in the building. And we have
special guest.
A special guest, longtime friend of ours, but new to the pod. Excited to have him on. Mike Foguth.
Yes,
my
sir.
brother.
Good.
Good to have you here, my brother. As we like to call him on this episode, White Mall. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say that, but
We got White Mall. And a little known white black history fact, maybe the only human in the U.S. with a house bigger than Maul. So I'm like, when Mike come around with his crib, Maul be like, okay, I see what you, Maul, I can see Maul like looking at the blueprint of his land, like how can I?
But you know, I feel bad for Maul because he don't want to leave the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, no, Maul's still in the city.
He want to stay in the city.
You got to leave out now,
Maul in
Maul.
the city. But Maul, you know, he doesn't want anybody else to have the house that Martin Luther King was in.
Yeah, no. Maul ain't never, he'll never leave that crib, but he still managed to have a humongous house. But no, beautiful crib. You know, we talked about it for a long time, so it's actually very cool to see you in the house because I know it took you guys, how long did it take you to build it?
5 years.
5 years to imagine that. And you were telling me about it, you showed me like blueprint pics and now to actually see it up.
So that's how long it's going to take.
And they're still there, but yeah.
Right. They're still there. Oh, listen.
That's deep, bro.
Mall house is like a plantation.
Non-stop.
You just see people like it's just all day. They just never leave.
Do they have keys to mall joint?
Oh,
they have
for
to,
sure.
because they're just in and out.
That's the part we don't talk about.
But that is the problem. It's like I remember driving down in Florida. You know, when you drive down the coastline, right, and you see these, you know, $30, $40 million homes, every single one of them had one thing in common. They had a vehicle in the driveway doing work at the house. And nobody talks about that.
Yep.
And that's a big deal when you have a family of people.
Absolutely.
It's like there are constantly people
constantly.
there.
That is maintenance for sure.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? By the time you finish one wing of the house, the other one
Something
ready
else
to be.
going on.
And not safety in the, necessarily in a negative
No, but
way.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then I think that has been, one episode, Carl was talking about the two things, and I know that's been one of my biggest challenges, is Dee Dee not, like, she's such a private person.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Such a private person that's been a struggle for me in that there's more that we can do and have, but Dee Dee's like, I don't want anybody cleaning my, I don't want nobody in my bedroom, or I don't want anybody in my, where I don't necessarily care, it doesn't bother me.
Me and my crew, we on a good, we like this.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know what I'm saying? We like
part
this.
of the family
Oh,
now.
I be in my drawers like, hey, how you doing?
no
like we fam
Yeah.
now, girl. Don't even trip.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but
not for real, by the way. That's a joke.
No. But I'm saying, to your point, people look at one aspect of stuff and they don't look at the full, hookup. And I just know, man, unfortunately, I got one of them kind of wives that if you push her too much, it changes her disposition.
My wife's the exact same way.
So it's like, I can do certain things, but the way she would treat me would change if I pushed her over the edge. But yeah, I mean, and even in San Diego, it's not that big, but for us going from a 23 to a 5, it's like, the bathrooms, like literally last time we went home, her and Jada just locked bathrooms. They was like, y'all not
Don't
going
messy
in there.
this one, yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
we're like, why y'all,
Yeah.
you and Jalen will literally use every
you
bathroom
whatever one I'm
in the
walking
house.
by.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah,
after I hit
yeah,
40.
Yeah, no question.
I might use both of them on the way to the
you know what I'm
bedroom.
saying? So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. But I'm saying,
you got to go when you got to go.
Yeah, maybe
don't worry
we can
about
get
that, young
into that,
fella.
though.
You don't know about that yet.
yeah.
So
I know that's right. You don't know nothing about that.
No. I promise you, if you see in the, I feel like my son. Like, so when I ask Trey, we'd be somewhere and like, I'd be like, you got to use the bathroom? He'd be like, I'll try.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when my wife asks me now. Like, you got to use the bathroom? I'll try. You know what I'm saying? It's a good, strong possibility. Something got to come out.
How long are we going to be in the car for?
Exactly.
Hey, you be doing good. I'm talking. Didi and I joke. Like we going through the airport. Didi stop at this one. I stop at that one. And E will use
Well,
the
you know the
bathroom at
trick
the
though
next
for
stop.
me, and again, I don't always have to, but I don't have a problem if I have to use it on the plane.
I got
Yes.
Didi, again,
She don't like to use it on the
germophobic, she
plane.
won't go into that bathroom. So for me, it's like, I don't gotta use it, but if I gotta get on this plane and 2 hours in, I gotta use it, I'll do it. But some of those, I do understand when I go in sometimes like, I see exactly why she don't wanna go into this bathroom.
Yeah.
Mike got a private plane.
Yeah.
So you don't know about that.
And no
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
You
Mike
should.
got the PJ now.
And
so he ain't got to use public
You know what?
restroom.
I just got to get Didi around. Maybe, Mike, if I get her around you, that'll change. Because I did get her to do, in San Diego, there's a flight. It's called, I think, JSX. But it's a private kind of situation.
Yeah.
And it's...
situation. That's
yeah,
what. Look at
yeah,
these
it's
guys
a
talking
situation.
private jet
So
situation.
she will do that from
Yeah.
San Diego
Say
to Vegas.
something.
Yeah.
Because we got to go all the way to LA to catch a plane to Vegas.
But do
So
they
she
got
will do
them
that.
Delta cookies?
They don't
Do
have
you
the
have the Delta cookies?
They don't. But I'm
That's
sure we
what
can
I'm
buy
saying.
If you ask, you can get them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can if you have. But her thing is, with that, she's always been, she didn't crash, but she had people that she knew that did, so she'd be on that.
I told you,
Yeah.
that took my wife forever. She wouldn't even get on. I said, let's go look.
Yeah.
She's like, no. And then the whole COVID thing actually helped, and a lot of silver linings to that. That was the first time I was able to get her going flying.
And to introduce Mike, man, and obviously, man, one of our most successful friends, but also, man, he shares a core common value system with us, man. Mike is a family man. You and your wife been married how long now?
We've been together for over 20 years, but we've been married for 14.
Over 2014. 5 daughters.
Yes.
And one of the boys, like a similar situation to Maul. So when we met, Mike, he had 5 daughters, and I was like, yo, are you going for a boy? And he was like, yep.
Yeah.
He was like, we still going? I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie. 5 girls. I'm like, Maul, you say you would have been kept going. But that's a commitment right there. And so, man, Mike is not only somebody who we call on when we have, financial questions, things of that nature. I know he walked me and E through a ton of stuff. Carl, he's just been there for us. And so I wanted to bring him on the pod just because he has a wealth of knowledge And like I said, shares a common value system, man. We always want to make sure that we're bringing people up here that, you guys will resonate with, and you guys trust us to make sure that the people who come on here, man, are vouched for, tried and true. And so I will say this, even though he is, we love him, even though he is now a sponsor of the Michigan Wolverines.
Hey,
So cue the bull noise on that.
Somebody got to do it.
But he's a big time Wolverine.
To the victor.
They did spank us the other day.
Sure enough.
And so did a few other people this year.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, it happens. Every dog got their day. But shout out to I don't have hatred for my brothers are diehard Michigan fans. I don't like hardball, but that's neither here nor there. But even being a Michigan Wolverine, man, we love you. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
So I guess I want to get into it. Like we talk about money on the pod, quite a bit. You heard E talking about Warren Buffett, before, and just kind of the lessons learned and stuff like that. Being a top player in the financial industry and knowing the markets and knowing all of this stuff. What is something that you would tell somebody who's out there who is looking to start investing or just serious about trying to get serious about money? We talk about fiscal responsibility all the time. Are there any common misconceptions that people have about where should I invest and you shouldn't invest and the economy's tanking and it's the best time to buy and it's the worst time to buy? I feel like there is so much information and misinformation. Where do you start people on their journey?
The easiest thing is just to break it down and keep it simple, right? And so generically speaking, I always tell people there's three buckets for your money: short-term, mid-term, long-term. Short-term is money that you're going to spend in the next, I would say, anywhere from 30 to 120 days, right? Stuff that is going to happen.
Give us some examples. Does that include mortgage?
Yeah, your mortgage, your day-to-day stuff, the money in, money out, right? So if you have a budget, you know how much money you're going to spend in the next 30 days because it's what it takes to live on, right? And everything's more expensive now, so you have to account for that. But there's also things that you need to think of short-term that are going to be coming up, right? Like the holidays are coming.
Yes.
Right? So these next 60 days, I'm going to spend more money in November and December than I will in January and February. So let's account for that. Don't put more money into your retirement long-term bucket, put it into your short-term bucket. So again, just break it down and so you do your short-term stuff. So you have your 30 to let's say 120 days that you are going to spend or that you're starting to prepare for, right? And it could be, hey, I'm going to have to put new tires on the car or the roof's starting to look like it's going to go bad. So you start to save for those things. And then that's where it kind of falls into your midterm bucket, right? Things that you're going to spend probably in the next 1 to 3 years. And again, those are a lot of surprises, things that are going to happen. But if you really sat down and thought, okay, what am I going to spend money on the next 1 to 3 years? You say, oh, my kids are going to play travel sports, right? And when they go and travel, we got to go to the hotel and we got to do the airplanes. We got to do these other things, right? So there's just a lot of little things. But if you actually stop and think about it, they'll come up. And then your third is really the easiest. That's your long-term stuff. That's money that you're saving for your retirement or things that are 10 plus years away from now. Hey, I'm going to be turning 40. I want to go to Dubai, right? I want to do these things.
Yeah.
Don't just wake up and say, well, I'm going to go to Dubai. Well, did you save to go there? Right? Where's that money going to come from? Well, my parents are turning this, or we're going to be celebrating this, or whatever it may be. Plan for those things.
Yeah.
And then when you get that paycheck, it's just real easy. That money goes boom, 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 move on.
Is there a percentage, I guess you're saying that it just, okay, so that's different because some people would say this much to save, this much to spend. You're saying it mostly depends on the situation. So when you get somebody, how do you have them analyze that situation? And then for people like we talked about, when life happens, right? I didn't see my car just dying, you know what I mean? I didn't see this happening. How do you account for those things?
Well, it all goes back to investing because you're going to get a better rate of return the longer you're able to push things out for, right? The more risk you're going to take, the bigger your reward is going to be. But for example, right now, the markets aren't performing very well. So if you had all of your eggs in that long-term basket and the car breaks down today, it's probably not the best time to sell when everything's down. So you pay your stuff your first 30 days or your 30-day bucket. Okay, once that's paid for, okay, then I go put some money over here that I'm anticipating, then everything else goes there. So everybody's percentages are going to be different. You want to put as much money into the longest term bucket as possible by paying this one first, this one second, and the leftover goes here.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And I'm thinking about for, individuals, you play offense a lot, you know what I mean? We talk about on this podcast a lot, a lot of people, I feel like when it comes to investing in their money, they play defense, all right? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What do you think about in terms of like being offensive minded without being stupid, if that makes sense.
Sure. Well, I stole it from this guy. You always have to stay ready, right? If you're just going to get ready, right? Well, I'm going to get there. I'm going to save up for this vacation. Then all of a sudden the vacation hits. It's like I'm going to get my body ready for vacation. I'm going to save my money for the vacation. Well, then the vacation hits. What do you do after that? Go back to eating junk food, go back and wasting money? So you stay ready, right? You're staying ready. Look, it's just law of large numbers. Something is going to happen in your life, right? And if you have kids, right, you can't anticipate. All of a sudden they're just going to call. Hey, Dad, I need this, or Mom, I need that, right? Maybe it's a family member. Something will always happen, right? And so you just have to always stay ready for those things to happen. Plan for the unexpected. It's going to happen. You just don't know what it is, but be prepared for it to happen.
Yeah, and Ian, Carl, you could jump in, but I think one of the things that we talk about on this podcast, and I know you came from a pretty middle class.
Very middle class.
Yeah, very middle class background. We had a couple conversations. I wanted to make sure I wasn't misquoting you, but all of us come from situations where I know we didn't talk about money positively, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, everything about money was like, you want to go on a trip? It's going to be a lot of money. And nothing against my parents. That's how you thought. Like, okay, like this person got this coming up. How much money is it? You got to go to such and such house. You got some money. So money was never like we never talked about like making money or like being on the offensive side of money as we like to call it, right? Like as Maul termed it. But I think for us now, I'm looking at like, I wonder, with you having 5 daughters and now you got your son, you know what I'm saying? You're a young fella, you know what I mean? Yeah. Handsome young fella.
Prince.
I'm trying to figure out like how we talk to our family about money and how we kind of like start those conversations, because I think they're kind of taboo.
Yeah, I just had it. I just got off the phone with Jalen.
What do you get when you add inflation, plus rate hikes, plus volatility? If you're the award-winning investment platform Masterworks, you've actually still gotten profit this year. That's right. While retail investors are down an average of 44% this year, Masterworks returned a strategic 17.8% net return to everyday investors just like you, and that was just last month. I mean, that's pretty incredible, even with a crypto meltdown, stocks like Amazon and the toilet, and real estate having its challenges. But Masterworks results have gotten them rave reviews from the likes of Forbes, Business Insider, and the Financial Times. Now, we've been rocking with Masterworks for quite a while now. One of the things that I like about them is that they file all their offerings with the SEC, so there's regulation involved. And their last 3 exits have delivered 17, 21, and 33% net returns. As a result, paintings have sold out in minutes. But because you listen to the Secrets to Success podcast, listen, you can get priority access at masterworks.art/success. Again, that's masterworks.art/success. See important regulation and disclaimers at masterworks.com/CD.
And I don't know, I think it was a sermon, Mike. I heard a sermon some years ago. It was actually a 5-part series where the guy was talking about be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. But he was talking more, like Joseph and those guys, Jacob and those guys, like how they literally produced and how they were wealthy. Abraham, they was breaking it down like, they tended to sheep. Like that's like you having a dealership, a fleet of Mercedes-Benz. It's like, bro, they had sheep and they were, producing. And so I told my son and my daughter, I said, here's the only thing I want for y'all. You need to, as soon as you possibly can, before I die, something happens for me, you need to figure out what your gifts are that's gonna make you, that's gonna have a check with your name on it. So Jalen and I just had a conversation. It was like, mom was like, mom more on the, middle still, Didi has he's still a real like middle class mindset. So she was like, Jalen, come on, what you gonna do? Like, if your father died, so that's the big thing. Like, what you gonna do if your dad dies? Like, what's gonna happen to you economically? And so I was just like, Jay, relax. I know where she's coming from. You have to embrace that middle class. But like, for real, you actually have a tool that you created that Marshall helped you do the whole, like you have a physical tool. I need you to ask yourself, where can you insert that tool? So here's what I'm gonna do for you. I know the places that you can insert it. I'm not gonna insert it for you, but I'm gonna tell you where you can insert it, and that people are there I'm gonna make you actually go have a conversation with them, go to lunch with them, go to dinner with them, and you're gonna have to convince them to insert your program into the school district. Or the youth detention centers, like they got government money. So my thing for my children is not, hey Jay, only spend this or do that. I'm like, you can spend as much as you can make. But what can you make, son? So what tools? So he was like, Dad, I do camera stuff. I said, forget the camera stuff. Don't be like your dad. Don't do the stuff that requires you to be there. You literally have a tool that you can insert into different circumstances and make money from that. That's what I need you to focus on. So what I'm teaching my kids is bump money. What's your gift and how can your gift make money for you?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I always say it's got to be duplicatable, repeatable, and predictable.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't be at all places at one time.
Yeah.
You can't. There's very few people in this world that are, if you want to call it wealth or success, because they're doing it by themselves. Right?
Yep.
Maybe a professional athlete. Right? They're out there performing, and that's one person. But then look at when they leave the court or the playing field, a lot of times you see that they get success and an abundance of wealth from outside businesses. Look at the Shaquille O'Neals of the world. Look at Kobe Bryant, right? I mean, he made more money on body armor than he did from the NBA.
Crazy.
Right? You think he's in the factories packing bottles? No, he's not even here. Right? Same thing with Shaq. And so, to E's point, I think a lot of those times when you start to look at those with kids, for me, the whole reason why my wife and I were committed to the success is because we want our children to be able to do what God has gifted them to do. And it might be that they're going to be the world's greatest teacher. Right?
Yep.
And I think teachers are grossly underpaid. But there's no way that they're going to be accustomed to maybe doing the lifestyle that they want on the teacher's salary, right? But they could change the world by being a teacher. So what we've committed to is, and a lot of times you hear Maul talk about this, is being able to give them the life that they want, that he's given his children the life that they want, right? By doing the things that God has gifted them to be able to do. And I take that as my responsibility. My wife and I have this conversation all the time.
So what does that mean? If your daughter wants to be a teacher, you're gonna make sure she's still a millionaire while she's teaching?
1,000% yes. And so I have that conversation because, you get to a point where, there's only so much time that you have, right? And having 6 children and again, we're involved, they're all in these travel sports and all these other things. And the other conversation.
I don't know how you do it.
Every time you say 6 kids, I shake.
Listen, I'm talking about volleyball, soccer, football, golf, tennis. I'm like, it might be everywhere.
But that was the whole reason why, that was my why.
Absolutely.
My entrepreneurial journey started because my father drove me to school every single day. I mean, we lived across the street from the school and he would drive me to the school sometimes. I always told myself I want to drive my kids to school. I don't know why that was, but that was. And then I had this wake up call. It's like, all right, if work starts at 8:30 and school starts at 8:30, one of them's going to have to give. And so I take my kids to school every single day and then I'm there for the back and forth to practice. I'm never going to miss a game. That's my why. But to your point, yeah, I mean, I anticipate my children, and again, it's this hard line of you don't want them to be spoiled and entitled, right? Still want them to be hungry, and so I think that you just can't wake up one day and give them everything and then expect them to work for everything, right? And I think that they lead by example. You'll never have to worry about your kids feeling entitled because dad's still busting his butt every single day, and they see that he already has everything. Right? I mean, here you are flying up to be on this podcast, everything. Your kids, you don't have to worry about that. Right?
I don't want to be here.
You don't get a choice. You got to be here.
Yeah, this is
I don't push
totally
him on much, Mike.
involuntary.
I don't push him on
Don't
much.
put this on the record for my kids. Dad didn't want to be here.
Yeah, this is one, Mike.
No. Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? They don't have to question that.
Of course.
Right? And when, I've said this before, you be where your feet are. When you're with your kids, you're with your kids. And you're just talking about that. That's hard. Especially when you're a business owner, right? And you're thinking about, I got this deal, I got this book, I got this boom, your head's in 1,000 different places. A majority of the population doesn't deal with that. The majority of the people, when it's 5 o'clock,
That's it.
it's it.
Shut it down.
There is no, I don't have work on my phone. My cell phone's for me. And so, as long as your kids see that.
Did you have to put those barriers in place, or was that something that you said even before you had kids? And you know what, I'm gonna be real. Walk us through that entrepreneurial journey, because I guess I know you kind of like now in terms of business stuff, but we haven't talked a bunch about when did you, and we probably should have started there. You own a financial firm, right? And a financial management firm, and you also teach other financial managers how to be big-time financial managers. I know you do that, but where did this start, and did you work for a firm and then break away and then start Foguth Financial? Or talk to us about that.
I started, on the back end as I learned the business on the wholesale side, and so I understood what everybody needed in life, the end user, right? The general public. I knew what they needed, but never went direct to them. So I could do everything that they needed without having to spend the time one-on-one with them. So my job was to be able to educate the financial advisor on how to do their job. So once I said, well, I'm talking to a lot of people like, oh my gosh, if this guy can do it, I'm gonna be the world's greatest, right?
Right.
So that's, and again, I was working for someone at the time, so I said, all right, I'm gonna go on and I do my own. I was a one-man show. I did everything by myself, right? Everything that our firm now does, and again, duplicatable, predictable, right? And we know what's going to happen before it happens, because that was my mindset from day one. Yes, I'm a one-man army, but I'm acting as if I'm doing something of a 40, 50 person firm.
So was that before you had kids?
No, we had 2 kids when I went out on my own.
So how were you managing that work-life balance? Because I think a lot of people will look at where you and E are now and go,
there is no such thing as a work-life balance. It's 120 to 120, right? I'm 120 businessman, I'm 120 dad. And when I'm in business mode, it's blinders on and it just go.
But I think most people would look at you now and say, if I had that kind of financial freedom, I'd be home and at every game too, but I'm still in the weeds, so I'm not gonna be able to make the soccer game.
I tell my children all the time, you choose your choice.
Yeah, that's it.
You choose your choice. That's it.
Name that the podcast, please.
Right.
Choose. Let me.
I'm saying Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you can.
Yeah.
If you think you can't, you can't.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like we talked a couple podcasts ago with the mindset.
Yes.
Like, yo, Mike, I'm really starting to realize, like, yo, all humans are, to whatever extent, created equal.
Yes.
It's just their brain.
Yes.
Like how people think about it, and so, just to your point, so here's how I had it in my mind. You never know if this stuff is gonna work out. But as an adult, I was like, yo, if I can create a family business, then we all gonna be together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now Jada's working with the foundation, Jalen's working with the foundation, some of the stuff. Dee Dee's involved with the church and everything. She's on the meetings. Yeah. We walking through the airport the other day, and she was like, okay, we gotta stop because it's about to get intense. But we was just going back and forth on business. Yeah. Like, okay, Dee Dee, you gotta understand, like I feel you, I love that, mama, papa, boom. But I'm saying it's so much easier now because we are doing business together. Mm-hmm. So we're together.
Having fun.
So Jada wants to do fashion, Jalen wants to do fashion, so it's a young lady out of Philly who's in Atlanta doing a big fashion. So Jada and Jalen are going, I can't make it because I got some other stuff to do. But to your point, I always said to myself, I'm gonna make this work. And Dee Dee was like, Jada needs to go work for somebody before she works for you. And I was like, nah, I don't agree with that. But I let it go, Mike, and it just so happened. So now I'm telling Jada, hey, this lady at the Boys and Girls Club wants to hire you. Hey, either volunteer or go part-time, because I do want you to learn some skills. But to your point, Jada wanted to be a social worker. And everybody would tell her, there's no money in social working. There's no money. And I said, go for it. Yeah. Is that what you really love? Go get a master's, go get a PhD. So then I told her, I said, here's what we do. I chose the assessment only because it's 100 years old. You talk about predictable. Like, my man came out with this almost 100 years ago. Everybody uses it in corporate America. So there's some people that I know that are not connected to those people that use it. So I'm like, yo, it's been around 100 years. It's proven. Jada, here's how we could take it to the next level. She's like, Dad, I don't know if I want to do it. I say, yeah, here's what we do. All the people that come through the assessment, the NBA, the NFL dudes, other people who don't want to pay the big bucks, yo, you're a social worker. Go get your license. Now you can charge Blue Cross, Blue Shield. You know what I'm saying? Now you can now they can use their insurance to come to you. So you don't even have to do it the way Dad's doing it. You can actually still help some of these people that I'm with who don't have the money to pay out cash. Everybody can't pay for such like cash. Yeah, that's predictable. Everybody's got insurance. Yeah. So people can now, Jada, I'll help you get licensed. Yes. We'll use some of the money you get licensed.
No one's ever said that you can't utilize your resources to become more successful.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
We've all done it.
Right? That's our job as a parent. That's our job as a leader to be able to make the people around me more successful. I mean, the point earlier, right? I mean, in previous podcasts I was listening to when they said that there's no problem with saying the people around me are, in order for me to be successful, they have to be successful also.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just be sitting up here on this pedestal and everybody around, just looking for crumbs. It's not going to work. So I always say use those relationships, and that's the greatest thing. That's the thing I think as a father figure that I look at as a father figure into my business. I want to help everybody around me, right? Just because I'm saying, would if you were to say, okay, would my daughter be able to be where she's at the same level without me? I don't care. Because we don't have to answer that question because I am here.
That's right.
Right.
And you asked it earlier, when I started this journey, my wife and I, our children have made sacrifices. There were a lot of times early in my career where I was not there for dinner. It's a long-term investment for Jada.
Question.
That's just getting ready to get cashed out, right?
That's it.
On that note, Mike, I
It's in
want to
that
ask.
long-term bucket.
I want to ask you. You can jump in here too, but I heard Ben on the ground school call. Ben said it's about the question you ask, right? So I want to ask you guys, like, just point blank, like when you wake up in the morning, like what kind of questions come into your mind? I'm preface it by saying this: the average person is asking, man, why is this happening to me? And I'm saying the question is the answer. So when you answer why it's happening to me, you could think, man, shoot, my dad didn't do this. My dad, you see, it's a lot of, let me say it like this, you can come up with a lot of excuses when you frame the question that way. So I want to find out from you, what questions are you asking yourself to not, you see what I'm saying?
Sure. First thing wake up, thank God for the day.
Absolutely.
And then the next thing in my mind is, where are my kids going to be today and where do I need to be with them?
That's good.
That's just because the things around me that bring worry, bring doubt, or quite frankly, I'm not good at doing or I don't want to do, I've put people in my life to do that. So I don't, there's never a point where I get up and like, oh man, let me check this email. I don't. And so I think that you just have to build your life to get to that point. And I promise you, it's not gonna happen overnight, but it can happen because there's people out there that are really, really good at the things that you're really, really bad at, right? We were joking about travel before we jumped on here. You can ask my wife and my assistant, like, if I were to book a trip, I'd probably end up in the wrong city at the wrong time at the wrong hotel. Right? But I'd be there, I'd be like, I'm here, and I'm like, you're not there. There's people that are really, really good at doing those things. Surround yourself with those people, right? Doing that flight assessment with your daughter and your son, they're really, really good at those things. So let's put them and put people around them that are really good.
No question.
And everybody just starts to rise with the tide. So, to answer your question, I wake up and that's the first thing in my mind is, what do I need to do to support my kids today? Because that's my everything. I don't know.
That's the same. I got the same one. Is that this because your kids are younger? Because my kids are older, so it's a whatever. And it's like, what do you have to do today to protect that? Like, what do you have to do today? So today it could be just coming here and doing the podcast, or it could be going to Dubai, or it could be going to Mexico and chilling out, or it could be getting on the road a whole week and doing a bunch of work, because that is going to protect this. So I just get up every day going, what's the optimal opportunity?
Yes, that's 100%.
Because there's a lot of people doing opportunities, but it's like, bruh, the kind of money you making, that's why I told my daughter, like, look, you learn this assessment, half the work is done for you. Why? Because William Marston started it 100 years ago. So when you look at, like when I do educational work, half the battle is, well, what's this tool? I don't even have to fight with you. I say, yo, this dude did this on it. I can show you every industry that this thing has been in and the success they had. I just put a twist on it. So I don't even have to fight you on the credibility of this tool because it's been out 100 years and everybody's been using it. So, but I have it in a way that your people can understand it and take this thing to. So what I had to realize was that process is even better than getting on the stage. Because the stage, to me, used to be my thing.
We can't duplicate this, right?
Right.
We can't duplicate this.
You can't duplicate,
right? It doesn't matter how much you charge, right?
Boog don't look like he ready to give no sermons. Or Jada.
But they can duplicate everybody around him. No, you brought up a phenomenal point, though. And I think that this is deeper to your question. It's your perception of whatever that may be. And it gets back to Henry Ford, can or can't, right? if you're looking at something as this is a negative in my life, yeah, it could be, but what was the silver lining to that? What did you learn from that will allow you never to let that happen again, but you're gonna come out of it better, right? Even if you've had a negative experience in a relationship, well, maybe that negative relationship introduced you to a different relationship. Focus on that positive.
Please, I don't want you to miss this though. He said something earlier, we ain't own it, but you own it. Man, if you could speak to fathers, because I've literally had a major opportunity in my life that I did not do because we'd already hit the goal, but it was a time where I was like, yo, my son, even though he's an adult, like he needs me right now. I was like, yo, he need me. And people was like, how's he doing? I was like, he gonna be doing great. It's like, how you so confident? Because I'm his father. Like, I know his brand. I know why he is where he is. And I was telling C, when me and C had talked, I said, C, I'm actually, although the circumstance may look a certain way, I'm actually excited. And C was like, why are you so excited? I was like, because he's here because he cares. Like, he not in this position because he don't care. He really here because he felt like, yo, I dropped the ball. And I'm like, no. First of all, you got it twisted. I don't need you to do that.
Right.
You think I need you to add to this. I don't need you to add to this. I got this on lockdown.
Yeah.
What I need you to do is figure out for the next like, I got this generation covered.
Yeah.
We good to go. You don't need to be worried about eating. You don't need to be about where you stand. You need to be worried about that. I need to see that you're actually on. So can you speak to that? Because you said as a father, and I just feel like so many young people are not where they're supposed to be because their dads are not where they're supposed to be. And I'm talking about even fathers that may be physically present,
but they're not where
their
they're
strategy. So speak to that part.
So that was me. I mean, quite frankly, that was me. We would go on vacations, and I physically am there, but I have this, and I have a laptop, and I'm there the whole time. And I can't remember when it was. I remember we were in Traverse City, and I told my assistant, I said, I'm gonna check emails once at night. If there is an emergency, you can call my cell phone. If not, nothing. And again, nothing happened. Business comes back and it's good. People give them an opportunity to lead. If you build leaders around you, they come back in and they're starting to solve the problems that, again, only could take me. It wasn't only me, I just was too selfish to allow others to jump in. Right? So now I can be present, now I can physically be there, now I can be with my son, now I can be there with my kids, because you've created leaders around you. And again, it gets back to what you were saying earlier. If you just have people around you following you, well, as soon as you stop leading, everyone's gonna turn around and look at the person behind them and no one's moving forward. So if you have all these other leaders, I don't have a problem. I'll sit back and watch everybody take off and go and lead. And now we have duplicatable, repeatable, and predictable. I love it. Right? And again, it gets back to the point. I mean, what does that
have to do with money?
Everything.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody like, what does that have to do with money, Mike? Tell them what it had to do with money.
I mean, again, you save money. How much money are you going to save next month? And if you don't already know that answer, then it's not predictable. Yeah. And it's not repeatable. Yeah. It's not like, well, I got my tax return, so I'm going to save. Come on, right? That's not it. What are you saving every time you get a paycheck? What happens if you go out and you do a little bit of extra work? What are you going to do with that? Are you going to go and spend it? You're going to say, well, it's not repeatable. So you got to be able to have things in your life that you know are going to happen before they happen, right? You talk about how many times you're going to speak on stage, can't do it. Right? Can't do it. So then what happens? And so you have to have all these leaders around you. I mean, you guys have done a phenomenal job. The ETA brand, right? I remember when I first started rocking with you, it was you, right? And you guys were. Now you have all these other things,
I'm not in Jamaica, but it's still moving. Yeah.
Successfully. Yeah. It's not just, they're not going through the motions, right? And so those are the things that you have to be able to build those people. Don't just say it's gonna be me and I'm just gonna charge this and I'm gonna ram this and I'm just gonna me. There's a lot of me successful people out there, but the day they stop.
That's it. It's over.
That's it.
So let's go back because they know our origin story, and I learn best from learning from people's stories. So you step out, you tell your wife, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna roll." How do you get your first 3-4 people to rock with you? Because I think that's they talk about a spaceship. The most energy it takes is getting off the ground. When you're coming off, maybe you don't have you can't pay somebody maybe, six figures. You can't, you kind of got to get them to go with the vision and believe. What was that early origin story when you knew, like, man, I'm going to get into this thing and go?
The easiest thing is, in anything in life, somebody has already done it more successfully than you. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I didn't do anything different. I went and mentored with somebody that I knew in the business, worked with them for 6, 12 months.
Did you pay for that mentorship, or was it a friend? Or
no, I gave up a piece of whatever I earned. I gave a percentage to that person.
I just want to make it clear, because want tangible steps, because people are going to hear that and be like, I want nobody mentor me.
And again, it's a lot about relationships. When I was going to college, I did internships for the Detroit Pistons and made no money, zero.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? She thinks I'm the only one that did that to her. I wasn't no intern. Yeah, it was an intern.
Hey, you didn't have any championship parade, so.
But his pay was intern.
He was teaching the class.
Hey, that's okay. That was a part of my intern proposal. That just came with it.
Exactly.
So, but that's the thing. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can give me any industry, right? Let's say you want to, become I want to own an auto mechanic store. And again, I'm the most, if something breaks in my car, someone's coming to fix it. I have no idea, right? Flat tire, I don't blow it up maybe. We'll figure it out, right?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. But I promise you, there's somebody with an uber successful auto mechanic store. Go work for him for 6 months and say, listen, you want to pay me $20 an hour? I'm going to take 10, but you got to teach me everything about this business. Do that for 6 or 12 months, and I promise you, you're going to know more in those 12 months.
What did you learn during that time? What specifically did you learn that helped you,
Well, you said something already. Can you speak to this? Because I think most people who are doing programs or business, they don't get this part. Yeah. You said you figured out what people needed.
Correct.
Why is that so important to making money? Figuring out, you didn't say you learned whatever the specifics thing of economics or financial literacy. You said you figured out what people needed.
Right.
Why is that important?
Because everybody needs something different, right? I mean, everybody's in a different walk of life. And even to this day with our clients, we did this. We spend an hour and just ask them questions. What do you need? I'm not here to sell you anything. Tell me, what do you need? Because you might need something different than him, and than him, than her, right?
Definitely.
So tell me, what is it that you need? And ask those questions. It doesn't matter who your customer is your job is to solve a problem, right? The people that come and listen to hear you talk, they have a problem and you're there to solve it, right? Deep at the brand, there's a problem and you're there to solve it. And to me, it's all about educating people to make an informed decision. That's it.
Right,
so if you educate them to make an informed decision, they're going to work with you.
Absolutely. And pay you.
And pay you, right? And again, they're going to pay you. And for me, I always wanted it to be bigger than me, right? I'm blessed enough to where I don't have to be there 9 to 5 anymore. I don't have to be working with as many clients or any clients really at this point, because my vision was always to be able to continue to expand to help others become leaders. And then, the next phase of your life is, instead of working with a bunch of end users, now my job has become, how do I take my leaders and get them to accomplish their goals? Because they want different things in their life. Some have kids, some have not. Okay, in 3 to 5 years from now, what do you want in your life? My only job is to get them there as fast as possible, the most successful way. And again, to your point earlier, they all start to come up, and guess who's rising with them? You're not going to stay down here while everybody else goes there.
Do you worry about training up your competition?
No, 100%. If you come and work as an advisor for us, and you sit down with me and say, listen, I want you to teach me, like I said earlier, everything that you possibly know, and in 3 years I want to go do this on my own, I say, I can get you there in 2, let's go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, he be suppressing me. See, that's the problem all these years. He never wanted me to leave.
Him specifically. Because he'll take off and go past the coach.
I've heard him talk before. You're not nothing to worry about.
Hey, I gave Carl one episode.
Carl, you hear what Mike said, though? You heard what Mike said? Mike said he's heard him talk before. I have nothing to worry about. I'm good. I have nothing to worry about.
Once an episode, I get Carl to
the shacking one you had him about to spit out his whole...
All the way. That's my whole problem the whole time.
Yeah.
See, Mike get you there in 2. I've been with this clown 15 years. I ain't went nowhere.
Nowhere.
I'm talking about right. hamster wheel.
Just hold it on.
The little small pool, the pool in the backyard.
The one
hamster
bedroom.
wheel.
Yeah, but I just think the need thing is so important, because so many people go after money. And it's like if you go after money, you may not always get it. You might get it.
Right.
But when you go after needs, you always had a person.
Yeah.
And if you have the person, you always have, we went to go eat yesterday, and I asked, the young lady, I said, I don't really like eating at the Cheesecake Factory because they're not predictable. The Grand Lux in Vegas.
My cheesecake. Hold on now.
I'm saying here in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's not predictable.
Okay, shout out to the.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
It's just not predictable.
Shout out to Cumberland Mall.
Their menu's too big. They got to limit that thing and say it's in or it's out, right?
But the Vegas boy, Grand Lux, they always come with it. So I went in, we came home, went by, and so I used to know the manager. He moved away, but I said, I need Lynn, because she knows how to make that pasta and that chicken. I need Lynn.
Oh,
and,
the actual chef back there.
She's a chef. And it's like, she's not here anymore. And I was like, she's not here. So I was like, all right, I'm about to go.
He ordered like he had a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah.
The Chef Lynn back there. They like, sir, this the Cheesecake Factory.
I just need Lynn.
It's Larry today.
Larry. And that's, and that's the problem. I'm like, why is Lynn one day Larry?
Yeah, Lynn got an off day.
Yeah.
He don't work every day you come in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why Larry's so whack?
Well, Larry got a few baby mama dramas. He got time to be
so he shouldn't have got
cooking your eggs extra well.
He shouldn't have got hired, because I want the same experience every time I go. So if it's average, cool. But you gave me the lady said I'm gonna go get Demetrius.
Come on, Demetrius.
I was like, oh, okay.
Let's see what you got.
So I said, I'm gonna wait. So Demetrius comes out, right?
This is
right here at the Cheesecake Factory.
So you got people
they know
coming
me.
in wave.
Oh, they know me.
Does Demetrius know you?
So come to find
Yeah.
So he comes out, right? And he like, E.T. I said, what's up, D? He's like, man, I watched all your videos, bro. I've been watching for years. I said, okay, that's good. But has it affected?
We're gonna find out.
You know Lynn.
Hey, we're gonna find out.
No.
As soon as you bring this salmon out here, we're gonna find out if you've been listening or not.
Watch this though. I said, do you know Lynn? He said, I trained her.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I said,
where you been?
We good money.
We reached the top.
We reached the top. So this is what I mean by needs. So we finished. He made Didi, she's been doing the vegetarian thing for probably about a year now. Man, so they got a Cuban sandwich. But of course, the Cuban is,
pork.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Cuban. It's Cuban.
Little mustard on that thing.
You're all mustard, bro, on that joker, bro.
A Cuban?
Bruh. So,
now I don't know about Cheesecake Factory Cuban, but a real,
you go out to
New York and get a Cuban
But I can't go to New York every day. So I said to him, I want a veggie Cuban. Let me tell you something.
Cuban.
He made Didi had broccoli. He gave her broccoli, mushrooms, onion. Let me just say this.
Eddie almost fell out of his chair when you said that.
Eddie, I would have too.
Broccoli Cuban.
I eat meat, but I would have too.
I tell you, don't call it a Cuban.
Yeah.
Just call it a broccoli sandwich.
No, this is why I had
Do
to
not
call
it a Cuban.
Because she was about to get her something else.
Okay.
And I was like, no, she needs that Cuban bread.
It ain't just the slaw that make it a Cuban. You got to have that.
The bread is where it's at. So let me just say this. He made it. Didi gave my man $100. So to my point, when you get it, when you meet a person,
Lynn's fired and Demetrius is
here.
Right.
Well, she
Lynn
left.
But Lynn
left.
Job. Oh, she
left for some reason. I don't know what happened, but Lynn left.
So find out where she at. She might be at Red Lobster. You go catch her whatever right across the street.
But I'm saying there are a lot of people going after money, but when you meet the need, you may actually make more money meeting the need than you gonna go for making the money. So I said to Didi, bro, he made you a vegan Cuban. The sandwich ain't cost for $15, $16. He about to give my man $100.
And a $100
She gave my man $100 tip.
So it was a $100 tip.
She gave him $100. The chef.
Yeah.
And then she hooked the waiter up because the waiter was the one that knew that he was to go get the guy.
Yeah.
So I said, Didi, we just spent $200.
Have y'all ever just thought about going to a nicer restaurant?
Can I say this? No. Can I say this?
Have you ever thought about just hitting the place that already? No, it exists.
It doesn't exist.
It does. You got to go out by where Mike lives. You got to go farther. You're out here in Lansing.
A great restaurant.
You're going to get what we give you here in the L.
I don't know, but we don't hang out.
In the L, you're going to get what you get, baby.
Yeah.
cracked chicken. It's only one way to order it.
Yeah,
extra
that's it.
seasoning.
That's
You don't
it.
need to ask for extra seasoning. You getting extra seasoning.
Yeah, but she don't eat chicken, so I had to take her there. to
Okay,
get
well,
the
I'm just
vegan
saying.
one,
Listen, Mike.
But Mike can tell me
Mike
where
will
we
tell
can
you
go,
where to go.
for a veggie Cuban.
Yeah, he got you.
And, was it Brighton, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've digressed.
So I want to go back. I want to go back to that point earlier because when you talk about, well, what if they're even going to be your competition, or they're going to go open their own branch?
Yes.
If you as a leader do your job to the best of your ability, they will never leave you.
Oh, so now you back in the game, baby.
There we
You
go,
back
E.
in the game. E.
That's what E
Just
was
like
on.
that, you put E back in the game.
Still ain't got a
That's what E
divorce.
was on.
Yeah,
He ain't got
but that's a phenomenal
Yeah.
point, though. You,
No,
you
that's
have to make
good.
sure that
That's
sets
good.
in.
Make it again, Mike.
Because again, he can say he's all in. He's drinking
Take it from the top.
the Lion's Kool-Aid, right? He's drinking it, right?
Drinking it.
But then all of a sudden, if you're a bad leader, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
It's the same thing. They could come in and say, hey, I'm going to go open my own prime. I'm going to do this thing. Awesome. But I promise you, if I do a good job at what I'm supposed to do, you'll never leave.
You're not going to want to leave.
You're not going to get this anywhere
You're
else.
not, and you don't want the responsibility on your own.
Yeah, and to your point, the thing that allowed me or made me not, there was no reason to leave.
Yes.
I never felt like I had a ceiling here, if that makes sense. So I think a lot of people want people to come work for them and you're just gonna lord over them and be whatever. I tell people all the time, I had a discussion with Jeremy earlier and I told him, I was like, yo, you come work for me, you can make as much as you wanna make. I promise you, you wanna make $1 million next year? Let's go. I'll show you how, and if you're willing to put in the work, we can make it. I promise you, I'm not gonna stop nobody.
And we say you can keep your brand. We don't need to change no.
100%.
And so I'm be real, but if I felt like there was a ceiling with me and E's relationship or the business, if I felt like, man, like I can get to 250 and I might cap out and E like, all right, that's it, it would probably make me feel a little different. And so I think a great leader, to your point, you're right, people will want to stay with you. So go back early on then, when you learn your skills from this mentor and you got it, what was your pitch to those first few people that came to work for you? Because now you have how many people that?
We're pushing 50 people.
Okay, so but again, first 2 or 3 is probably the hardest, right? Like, what was your pitch, and were you able to lead them with your vision at that point? Did you save up enough money to pay them a good salary?
I wish that I knew the assessment back then, because it's all about communication.
Yeah.
I am a horrible manager of people.
Right.
And I hear you talking about it all the time, like this, I can't do this. I'm like, well, you can, you're just not, right?
Right.
That's my mindset, right? It's 5 o'clock and it's not done. Okay, well then we're gonna get it. Like, that's my mindset. No matter what happens, we're gonna go through
Got
there.
into a lot of trouble with that.
Yes.
A few HR complaints.
But
Thank
just
you.
a few.
That's the thing. So you can't be the manager of those people. I had to get out of the way. So things took off when I hired a manager of people. I never dealt with the day-to-day interactions of employees because I would wake up in the morning, early on, to your point, 10, 15 years, 13 years ago, I would wake up with that anxiety of I got to go into the office and I got to face these demons today because somebody has to.
We don't like to refer to our employees as I'm kidding. Sorry, Mike. Welcome to the podcast. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? We like to refer to our people as our family. Yeah, angels. I don't want to go in and face these demons.
Good, yeah. Now I know my mall's not here. We're good.
Right. You see what happens now? I'll tell you, that seat right there, bro.
Don't worry, if you work at Foguth Financial, he's not talking to you.
That was old times.
Old time.
We're good today.
Yeah, the old
We're
regime.
good.
You've been there longer than 12. You got some soul searching to do. Let's talk to us about, you obviously service super wealthy clients. I'm assuming you have a range of clients, but you have some that are.
So, it goes back to, having a mentor of your money, right? A majority of our clients are the millionaire next door. Very, very, very rarely are we dealing with uber wealthy people.
Well, you got E-money, so I was just thinking. I made an assumption. He get 200 to speak. I just made an assumption that you average at least one.
We do, and that's more so in my realm, right? But all of our other advisors, I mean, we have, when I started, I had a client doing $101.50 a month. $101.50 a month. We still help those people, and that was it. Yeah, it was a client's son. He was a chef. I don't know if he was working at Cheesecake, but he was a chef.
Larry. That was Larry.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Yeah, they didn't make the cut.
But we serve that client And they loved it so much, they said, you gotta help my son. He just got a job, doesn't know what to do. You gotta find a mentor of your money. So, and again, it gets back to everything in life. You find somebody that's better at it than you, and it doesn't cost you anything. Especially in the financial services, it doesn't matter if somebody charges you to do it. If the financial advisor can't outperform what they're charging, they should be fired. If a CPA can't save you more money in taxes than you're paying them, they should be fired. That's it. So it's not how much it costs.
Yeah, I need to have a conversation with
right?
CPA.
So I say this all the time. This is my motto in life. It's not what it costs, it's what it's worth.
Right.
Back to the
Break
questions
that down.
that you asked.
Yeah, go ahead. Break that
Think
down a little
about
bit.
that. It's not what it costs, it's what it's worth. How much was Dee Dee's vegan, vegetarian sandwich?
Oh, it only cost 15, but it was worth more than that for her health.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
That's everything in life. It's not what it costs, it's
And
what it's
the
worth.
experience,
Right?
Mike.
I mean, look at these bottles of water.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, a bottle of water is a greatest example of that.
Yeah.
How much is it for a
cost that
case of
much.
water at Costco? $5. Right? How much is it to buy an individual bottle at the gas station? $2. How much is it at the airport? $8.
$50.
$50.
$50.
It's
I
not
bought
what it
3 and I
costs,
needed-
it's what it's
Yeah,
worth.
I need to finance the water
Yes, that's-
at the airport.
bruh.
Yeah.
So that gets back, that's at everything in life, right? It's not what it costs, it's what it's worth, right? You know, you talk about children and you talk about the things. It doesn't matter what it costs, it's what it's worth, right? Hey, maybe you got to leave work an hour early and you're going to lose an hour worth of pay.
What's it worth, though?
What's it worth? Your kid's not going to play that game again. Yes, you still have an obligation to pay your mortgage every single month, but it's not.
But you
see
can
what
do
I'm
both.
saying?
You can do both if you decide that you can do both.
100%.
Yeah, I mean the game of, the game that C started. We spoke about it recently with our Speakers Academy. Celebrity. As I talk about 3 things: content, contacts, and celebrity. And the whole concept of celebrity is what you said with water, where it's like C's thing is, hey, I'm gonna make you a household name. Well, when you become a household name, the more of a household name you become in the right context, you could charge more for the exact same thing, So for me, it's to your point, it's like, okay, he taught me that, and I realized that, and was like, okay, I gotta help me with the celebrity boy, because once you get to it, like I look at some of these guys who are celebrities who are not even good speakers, but they can go somewhere
for sure.
and do a gala
For sure.
and speak, and they can't speak and make $250,000. So it's like, yo, I gotta figure out how to make $250,000. But it's the questions, like, I hear people dogging college out. Yo, I promise you, when I had to pay Michigan State $50,000 to go to, to get an advanced degree, I was blessed. Izzo paid half, D'Antonio had paid half. So I didn't necessarily have to come out cash, but it was still 50. I said to myself, if somebody's willing to pay $50,000 for you to go to school, like they're asking you for 50, I was like, when I graduate, I'm gonna need 50,000. I'm just saying, that's how I start asking myself
The level
questions.
that it's at.
I was just like, yo, it don't make sense if you're gonna make me pay 50, but I'm never gonna be able to make 50.
Right.
I'm like, yo, that don't even make sense.
And not 50 in a year.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, you charge me $50,000 for this program.
I like that, E.
I
It's a
gotta
transaction.
Bruh,
It's a $50,000
I gotta
transaction.
why would I pay you 50 or have a student loan that's going to charge me an interest on the 50 and I can't make no, I'm just being real, Mike. I asked myself this question. How are they asking me for 50? Like, what's the justification of you just like 50?
Right.
Or
Where'd that
Harvard-
number come from?
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you go up the road, the school up north, it's about 125 for a degree. So you charge somebody 50, then up the street, they're charging you 125.
Same degree.
Same degree. And I wasn't mad. I just said, if you're gonna charge me that much, I gotta be able to charge. So I said to myself, okay, good, I'm gonna give you this 50, but once I get this piece of paper, I gotta figure out how to make 50 off of the piece of paper. And I think when Carl was asking about questions, like, that's what I do. I'm just fair. Like I said to my guy, he was like, man, E, you want me to, not like he didn't say it, but I could feel in his spirit, like, man, we just went from 75, now you want me to ask for 200? And I was like, yeah, because you asked me, and I told both of them this directly. I said, I asked y'all how much y'all gonna charge me to do it. Y'all told me. I never negotiated with you. I gave you what you asked for. Now give me what I asked for. I never asked no question. You told me if I'm gonna get on the New York Times bestsellers list, it cost me, Mike, altogether, it cost me, without extra stuff, it cost me $193,000 for the person and then the staff. I'm not mad, Mike. Why? Because you got me on the New York Times bestsellers list. So I got what I paid for. So now I'm getting books in other countries. I got exactly
you
what I
should only
paid
be
for.
charging $193. You that little 7.
You threw extra 7.
Yeah, you threw a little extra
Throw in the
7.
seven.
Yeah, give me that 7. Yeah, throw me
193, Mike.
I'll take the 7.
So I'm just saying to your point with the question, I just asked myself the question. I'll give you 193, but can you give me what I'm asking for? And so I think, man, we got to really, it's forward again. If you think you can, you can. If you think you could, you said ain't no balance, but if you think you can meet the needs of your family and do the whatever, you can do both. If you big enough to charge me 50, I'm big enough to charge somebody 50. Apparently in the earth, people charge each other, people charging 50s. And I got upset, I wouldn't use this word, upset is not a good word, but I was like, wow, this person charged how much? And they didn't even speak, Mike. They were like, who's gonna be on the panel with me? I said, on the panel? Y'all paying that much? And it's a panel? Like they can't even just get up
I'm
and
about to up my
freestyle.
speaking fees.
I'm just saying they couldn't even you can't even get up and freestyle or read a transcript. Like you need other people to ask you questions. I was like, raise me. I see you and raise me another
Raise me up.
50,000 on that.
Because that's what it's
Raise me
worth.
up.
Because that's what it's worth. You just told me what it was worth. So why am I afraid to go in the realm of what it's worth? Yeah.
Problem is, a lot of y'all out there, it ain't worth what you like. You talking about some masters now. Make sure your stuff is worth
no question.
what you are trying to charge. Because a lot of people, I'm just saying, they just
you'll find out the hard way.
The market will
when
tell
you
you.
ask.
Yeah,
The
market will tell you.
Or fake it real quick, get you 50 grand and go invest and make real estate real.
Yeah.
Just fake it out
No,
one
there
time
you go.
real
No,
quick.
for real.
There you go.
Figure out your
Yeah,
investment
for real.
strategy.
Because that ain't fake.
Yeah, no, we'll wind up here in a few last questions. Where now with, I feel like it's crazy now, like, and I don't want you to get, obviously everybody's situation is different, but in terms of the market now, in terms of what you see, and you've been doing this for a while, do you have any recommendations for individuals that you're giving them going towards the end of this year, going into, 23 and kind of like what you...
Don't give them what I pay you for, Mike.
No, not that.
You know what I'm saying?
Give them the rookie
They about
level.
to get it for free.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Give them the rookie level.
Okay,
Hey,
thank you.
Mike, give us value.
You know
Don't
what
listen to
I'm
these clowns.
The
Give us
easiest thing
value.
is it's
What's it worth?
There's always an opportunity. Always an opportunity.
Okay.
And so, again, everybody's a different scenario, though, right? So if I sit down, I always kind of laugh when people, when they find out that you're in the financial services, they're always like, how are the markets doing? And again, I can be a nice guy and kind of,
Who you are.
that's exactly it. Well, what market are you talking about, right? Like, they just want you to be like, blah, 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 blah. Like they're talking heads on TV. They get people to tune in and there's zero value. Zero value. Everybody will tell you what to buy, but they'll never tell you when to sell. Right? And so, to your point, you have to find somebody that can mentor you in your money. If you're like, hey, I'm really, really passionate about doing it on my own, there's a lot of gurus out there that will teach you how to do it on your own.
Day trade.
Day trading, whatever is it that you want to do, God bless you, have at it and go and do it. And there'll be people that are very, very successful in doing it. Absolutely. A lot of other people have passionate things. A lot of our clients come to us because they want to do other things in their life than do this all day. So, if you look at it as a financial services, our job is to take the pressure off of each shoulders and put it onto our shoulders and let us do what we're really, really good at doing. So as you go in there, look for the opportunities. Find someone that you know, like, and trust and let them do what they're going to do. And again, to the point earlier, if they can't drive the results, there is no conversation. If the CPA can't save you money on your taxes more than you're paying them, that's not a conversation. The financial advisor can't make you more than what you pay. That's an easy conversation.
Let's wrap it up with this. You said that people come to people because they have a problem. You were already highly successful, running a top firm, all of those things, and yet you sought out E for mentorship. Why at the peak and prime of your career when you're already crushing it, you and your wife been together forever, you got your kids, you got the house of your dreams. What did you need? What was the problem that E was able to solve for you?
Well, two things. Number one is the day you stop working on your marriage, the day you stop working on being a better father, the day you stop working on being a better leader, the day you stop praying, that's the day you're in trouble. So if somebody's out there and they look at somebody like, he's got it all, she's got it all, they don't. They may have it today, they may have it this minute, but if they wake up tomorrow, it can all be gone. So I surround myself with people like E and you and Carl, and it doesn't have to be a lot sometimes, but you know that person's there because they're going to make you better, right? And you know that if you surround yourself with, again, say what you want, you surround yourself with 5 successful people, I promise you're the 6th. And whatever it is. You want to be a really, really good dad? Go find 5 really, really good dads and start hanging out with them.
Right.
Right? You want to find people that are really, really, you want to be a speaker? Go hang out with other really, really good speakers. And you have to be better. So that's something that I would say is you can never stop. The day that you stop trying to get better is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what in particular, because I don't think I ever asked you, I remember the first day we talked on the phone, but I don't remember if you told me what video did you watch, or was there something specifically that resonated with you that made you want to go yep, this guy right here? I'm just curious, I never asked you that.
I don't know if it was ever one thing. I think what it boils down to is E's character. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people say that, but, we were talking about this before the pod. The internet has ruined this for everybody. Right? You could be rocking with this person, and maybe they're making you a ton of money, but their character is atrocious. And all of a sudden, that's going to start to creep in, that they're doing things on the side. Yeah, they're making a ton of money, because that's what they're teaching you to do, but they're doing all these other things with their character. That starts to creep in. Next thing you know, you're divorced, you don't see your kids, and you lost half of your money. How much was it really worth? So when you see that character, you see those things, and it's not easy. Marriage is not easy, but divorce is not easy.
Ooh, speak on it.
Pick your easy. Mm-hmm. Pick your hard, right? And it's not that anybody has it perfect. I'm just telling you that the day that you stop working on the things that matter to you. So if you stop watching the videos, you stop listening to this podcast, it's what are you consuming all of the time? Right? So there wasn't one video, there wasn't one thing, but when you start to dig in deeper and you say, that's somebody I want to be associated with. And it was funny, I go back to this. I think this was my first live event. Now that I think about this, it was at Michigan State. It was a boot camp. Mm-hmm. And I'm 99.9% sure that Maul sat to the left of me, in front of me.
Yeah, Maul was at the boot camp. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And I just was thinking about that.
I promise you, I think to this day I didn't know you were there.
I don't remember you there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
I think that was my first live because
just down the road. That was a while ago. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a while ago too, because little Jamal was just born. Yeah. He's 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
7 years.
I think that was my first live, if you will. And then again, it's what I want to consume, right? And yeah, you're just joking, it's fun, and it's good to listen. But at the end of the day, you know that the content is pure. You know that your heart is pure. You know that you're going to get things that you're going to be able to. It takes a while sometimes for them to actually come out into fruition. I heard you say a lot, stay ready. I never knew what that meant. I just stay ready. Like, okay, whatever, right? But then all of a sudden, when you start to do these things and you're saving for an event, or for me, it was getting in shape or doing something because I'm going to go on a vacation. Or, in Michigan, you only got to look good for 3 months, right?
That's it. Right.
I promise. Yeah.
So I'm going to get ready for summer, right? It's coming.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, you got a trip and you're going to go out to California. Like, oh man, I'm not ready.
No, not in
right?
December. I got this winter coat.
Right, I'm gonna start doing some sit-ups right now. It's not gonna help.
It's the time
it was
right here.
Okay, so now I gotta stay. You always gotta be ready because you never know when your time's gonna come in life, right? Someone could call, they may need you, and it's just surrounding yourself with other successful people, and that just will rise with the tide.
I love it, man. Let the people know where they can reach you at, Mike. I know you.
So
socials and all of that, man. We got a strong following.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go show
and
Mike
again, if anybody needs help, our website is foguthfinancial.com. It's FOGUTH financial.com. There's a little box on there. It's like message us or schedule something. And anybody in the office will be able to, again, if you have a question, hey, what do I do this? Do I save here? I got a 401k, I did this, I did that, whatever it may be. My office, I promise, will lend a helping hand for whatever those questions are. On IG, it's just Mike Foguth. So it's MikeFoguth. And again, shoot me a message if people have questions, and I'm always a resource to be able to help people.
Yeah, shout out to Organifi too, the superfood green juice powder, keeping this podcast powered up. We appreciate Organifi for the partnership and sponsorship. Go to Organifi.com, ORGANIFI.com. Use the promo code SUCCESS. Get 20% off your order. Brother Maul will be back with us soon, but for this time, man, you did a great job holding it down, White Maul. No, we appreciate it, man. Seriously, and it's always good to get that information and kind of that feedback from other individuals who've had a ton of success and continue to thrive in your area. So blessings to you, the family, and everything else, man. You gonna have another one, man? You got 6 already.
If you ask my wife, she's all in.
His wife trying to talk him into a 7.
7 is completion.
Lucky number 7. 7 is completion.
There you go.
7 is completion. So hey, do it for me because I got that. I'm done. That's it for me, dog. I think the rest of us up here, if it happened, it'll be a miracle.
It'll be a miracle.
Yeah. So
it's gonna take a miracle.
Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, you know the deal. We out of here. We love you. We'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.
Thank you so much for rocking with us as always, right? We don't take it lightly, guys. And we hope that we've provided transformation and not just information. We want you to become the best version of yourself, right? Make sure you check out the show notes to access all the important links and get your product discounts. Now, one favor we're asking of you, do us this favor. Make sure you subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We want to know your feedback on how we can serve you better. And if there's anyone that you think could benefit from listening to this show, please, I'm begging you, please share it with them. And remember, as E always says, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.